What's up, guys? I'm Ian with Dayton Hardwood Company. I saw that you're searching for some hardwood flooring advice, and I am a seasoned professional, and so I wanted to talk to you today about some sandpaper for your orbital sander. Whether you're sanding hardwood floors or just any wood, like wood that you see around here, wood that's on trim at your house, a piece of woodworking that you're working on in your garage, basically anything, you're probably going to use a palm sander. Whether it's one that you get at like Home Depot or on Amazon or a professional Festool type grade one that I have and use daily on hardwood floors, you're going to be using very similar sandpaper for any of them. And that's why you're here, because you were searching for different types of sandpaper. So I'm going to go over the three types that I typically use. There's a fourth that I'm going to mention that's not in here because I don't use a lot of it. So the two major different ones for paper are going to be ceramic grain and aluminum oxide grain. Aluminum oxide grain is the cheapest and most traditional sandpaper that you've ever heard of. It is your idea of sandpaper. It's the oldest technology, and it would be considered tried and true. It's also the least durable, the least scratch, and it lasts the least amount of time in terms of sandpaper. So that's why you want to use it only when you're doing like your finish passes. So higher grit before you switch to a mesh, which we're going to talk about next. So this is going to be your most important sandpaper that you use for finish removal, stock removal, and the majority of your work. What is this? This is ceramic grain. Ceramic grain is the leading technology for sandpaper. You hear of ceramic fortifying a lot of things these days, like the brake pads in your car, or the finish that I put up on hardwood floors, or sandpaper. So in a nutshell, what happens is as the sandpaper degrades, it micro fractures on the cutting surface and breaks new cutting surfaces for you, thus getting long life out of the sandpaper and continuing to cut hard the entire time you use it. So it costs a little bit more, but it's worth it. It lasts a lot longer and is probably the best sandpaper that you can work with. This particular piece is called Norton Blaze MultiAir Cyclonic. 120 grit. You can see that it's got a ton of little micro holes in it, as well as one large hole in the center, so it's made to be used with a bunch of different types of sanders. And this can be purchased on floormechanics.com, maybe even on Amazon, I'm not sure, but I highly recommend this. It's available in 5 and 6 inch, I think all the way down to like 60 grit, and probably all the way up into the 300s. For aluminum oxide, get it wherever. This is some cheap crap I got on Amazon that fits my 3-inch Festool sander, but I prefer the black stuff, and you're going to use it for your final grit pass before you switch to this. And this is your secret weapon for getting rid of scratches on your sanding project. This is called mesh. See how it's see-through? This is also a ceramic grain, but what this does is cuts a little less aggressively than the paper. So whatever sanding swirls or mess that you left behind when you were doing your stock removal and your finish removal and your refinish project, you did all of that, and then you tried your best with the aluminum oxide to polish out any of the marks that you may have left with your ceramic. At which point you cleaned your entire project. You could have even water popped it, because that will raise the grain back up and allow for this to do its job even better. So very last pass, you're going to go over your project with your mesh. Either repeat the last grit that you used here or jump up to the next grit, or both. I recommend both because it's going to give you the best finished product. And if you do that water pop method and sand again, you will not see one single scratch on anything. So you can do the double water pop method. You can water pop before you mesh, clean, water pop again, and now put your finish on. Or you can skip that first water pop and only do the mesh, and you're still probably not going to see very many scratches. That's sandpaper in a nutshell. I hope that you learned something. You can see a bunch of other sandpaper and abrasives and application tools behind me. Happy to talk to you about any of those. If you have any questions, make sure that you like and subscribe, because when you come back, there's going to be more information for you from me. Peace.